Alright, here we have is my renovation before and after. Now when I got this house I had squatters, so I had quite a bit to deal with. So when I got the house it kind of looked like that. You had the trees over there, it had a little bit of overgrown foliage, and I cleared all that out, put a new fence in, put a new garage in, and there was a part where there's a tree there, there's a bunch of debris in front of the garage now. Oh look, it's nice and cleaned up. I even put in a door there. Now this is one of the things that they left behind, was that they left about 2 truckloads worth of garbage that I had to discard, and that was quite the endeavor to try to get rid of. But I eventually got rid of it, put down some grass there, and then some also that. So there's kind of like what a contractor did when they ripped everything down to the studs and then trying to put everything back together. And we put in new windows. There's kind of a before picture of what it looked like before as they were in the middle of it. And that's kind of in the beginning stages of the renovation. And now at the ending stages, where it looks nice, where it has like a nice little landing, new stucco. And there's like the old door, new door, along with that landing that I spoke about, and that was before we got a hold of it, and now it's a little bit after. But if you look to the side, there's a bit of garage, it still needs a little bit of painting and work. But this was, what is it, was beforehand when we got it, and now after when we put in all the nice pavers. And I also like to thank Jose and Francisco for doing that. And then we also put in a new roof, got rid of the chimney, and then put a nice little stucco over it, and that was the foliage, and it was really kind of heavy, so we had Willie's Tree Service come out there, and they did a lot of work about getting all that little debris out of there, along with just pretty much getting all the grass and the overgrown weeds that the squatters didn't take care of. But it looks a lot nicer now, doesn't it, with the fence? And so there's a backyard looking towards the house, and we put in a sliding glass door there, so I don't know, for whatever reason my wife wanted it. And then so there's a backyard, cleaning that up. Just looks like, and here's the interesting thing, the squatters were stealing electricity, so we had to basically ask PG&E to turn the thing back on, but PG&E wouldn't do it unless we got like a whole new power system. So basically we had to go back and redo the entire electrical system, which we did. So now we're at 220 volts instead of like 60, which was like back in the 1950s when they built the house. And there goes a nice little look of the house inside before we got in there, and now whoa, look at it after. One of the things that we wanted to do was also get rid of those big windows, so we made the windows a little smaller. So that was it. And then also, if you look at the roof, they had a pretty thin roof on top, so we got like insulation, put recessed lighting in there. And so there's a little beforehand about the flooring, and then we got the new look in there. And so gives you a good idea about the insulation, the electricity that went into that, and then just kind of patching it all up at the end. There's a little bathroom there. It was not quite taken care of, but now it is. If you look at the bathtub here, yep, there it is. That has a nice little crack house aesthetic to it, so that had to go. But it looks a lot nicer and a lot cleaner, and I don't feel bad. Now, there gives you an idea about the type of people that were beforehand. They just did not take care of the place, and so it looks worlds better once we were able to clean out a lot of the stuff that they ended up leaving behind. And it looks a lot cleaner, a lot nicer. There was the master bedroom before we got there, and so we just renovated it as such. And there was the kitchen, and there it is now. We got new countertops, new everything. Like we said, ripped everything down to the studs, and check that out. Boom. We also got rid of the water heater that was on the side. So now we have a tankless one. And here's the kitchen, and before, and boom, after. Looks a lot nicer. And also, I'd just like to say special thanks to 24-Hour Home Services, West Coast Landscaping, A&J Doors, Good Guys Roofing Service, and Willie Tree Service for bringing this all together and making it all happen.